Getting ready to head out this morning. We'll see what happens on the way up there. Hopefully it's uneventful.
It was a pretty steep grade, and it started going down about every half mile. There was a runaway truck ramp. Then when I saw about the 4th or 5th runaway truck ramp, that's when I sent David the text.
We went over the Snake River, and that's a deep gorge.
Are you in the slightest worried that I'll move on and walk right? I'm up all night, keep pretending to save the world. I'm up all night, keep talking, yeah. I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
Well, nice week in Twin Falls, right before the West Coast Rally. You know, getting out of the campground was pretty easy. It's kind of par for the course.
Yeah.
We can pull into a pull through, and then a lot of times we got to back out.
Yeah, pull-throughs are kind of meaningless to us because we generally, I'd say probably half the time, we
Yeah.
don't pull through.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, it was easy back out. It's nice that we were on that curve and backed out, and then we could pull right through. So that was good. Nice weather today.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, kind of flat. It's funny. We went over the Snake River so far today. How many? Three times. And the first time we went over was there in Twin Falls, and that's a deep gorge.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful river. The rocks exposed. And then the next couple of times we crossed the Snake.
It's kind of like an open valley, a very soft, rolling hill valley.
Yeah, it looks nothing like Twin Falls area.
No.
Yeah, so it's just another, 60 miles to our stop.
Yes.
And we'll be there for, I don't know, about 10 days or so.
That'll be nice.
And doing some presentations and enjoying the West Coast Rally.
Yeah, meeting up with some friends and meeting new people.
That's exactly
And actually,
right.
we're going to be meeting some friends of the channel as well that we haven't met yet.
Yes. Yep, that's exactly right. So we're going to enjoy it, and we're going to, as always, bring you guys along with us and try to keep it interesting. We have arrived at Ambassador RV Park. You know, it's always exciting to go to new places.
Yes.
I like that.
Me too.
But there's a comfort in knowing a place that we've been to before.
Yeah.
So let's go check in.
And that way I don't have to freak out when if we're going to fit or not or whatever.
Oh, I know. How do you get in? Is the
Yeah.
GPS going to take us the right way?
Exactly.
So we're going to check in, get our site, which we already know. It's the same one that we usually are. And then we're going to get set up and
Escorted to our site.
enjoy the rally. Yeah. Okay, let's get checked in.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing good.
That's hello.
Kahanamoku.
Hi.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. we're kind of doing this little marching thing.
We should start rehearsing.
Maybe we should one of these days. So we're at the West Coast HDT Rally. We got here in Caldwell, Idaho. Checked in. It's really a nice park here at Ambassador. And we're gonna start the week-long rally.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. A lot of new rigs here. I think over half the people are new. So gonna meet a lot of new people and catch up with our friends. So it's gonna be fun.
Exactly, and we're gonna do some presentations and kind of, just enjoy the whole rally atmosphere. But that begs the question, why an HDT? Why would you go down this path? Sometimes we ask ourselves that question, but we have answers, at least from our standpoint, and we're gonna answer those here coming up.
We thought we would go for a walk and check everything out and take you along and maybe answer some questions that you may have.
Yeah. Maybe answer a question I might have too.
So do you think maybe we should tell them a little bit about our backstory and
Starting
why?
at the beginning.
At the beginning, a
Okay.
long, long time ago, far, far away.
What is our backstory?
Yeah.
What is this?
So I think once we decided we wanted to full-time in a fifth wheel, the next question came up, what are we going to pull it with?
Yeah, and that's a big question.
It is.
Because we tend to be conservative, so we wanted to get one truck. And we started really at the 450 level,
Yeah.
but we quickly went up to a 650.
Yeah.
We just felt like that was going to be more flexible for us and more capable.
Right, and we were driving around town and we happened to see this gorgeous 650 truck that
Man.
I fell in love with. And
It was
then
nice.
we went down to that company in Georgia. I
Yep.
can't remember the name of it.
Super trucks.
Super trucks, and we went for a test drive in those, and they were just big honker trucks, and it's like, yeah.
But the
then
ride was terrible.
it was horrible.
So we continued our search,
Mm-hmm.
and then I found through some research, I found HDTs. Sandra's first reaction to that was,
We're not, no.
yeah, it was a little more expletive than that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yes, it was a definite no.
And then there was a rally near us. So David talked me into going to a rally, and it's like, oh, okay, but I still am not going to do a truck. And so we went to the rally and got a lot of information. The people were wonderful.
Yeah,
And then I said, nope, still don't want to do it.
yep. Our daughter and Sandra went on a road trip.
Yeah.
She had an internship in California, and so they drove coast to coast. And I finally, after several days, I get this text of, you win. I'm like, what? I knew what she was talking about.
Yeah. And the reason he won, because we were going up, I think it was in Albuquerque somewhere. And so we were driving up this mountain. It was a pretty steep grade. And about every mile, there was a turnout with water fill station.
Yeah.
And then when we got up and over and started going down, about every half mile, there was a runaway truck ramp.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, at the rally, we were asking why an HDT, and they were telling us why an HDT.
Yeah.
And this just kind of was sinking and stewing in the back of my head. And then when I saw about that fourth or fifth runaway truck ramp, that's when I sent David the text, and it's like, okay, you win. Let's start looking into it.
Yeah, so we started looking into the HDTs and getting serious about it. But there were still questions we had, and there were still things we needed to decide. Oops. I'm missing someone. All right, so why an HDT? Safety is a big concern when you're on the road as much as we are. And these are going to stop everything.
Right, and a lot of people say, oh, my 1-ton truck can pull it up a hill, which is great, but can it stop? And with seeing all those runaway truck ramps, it's like, oh man, I don't know. And what happens if your trailer brakes go out?
Yeah, and
You
we've
know.
seen that before several times where people were stuck at a RV park. They
Yeah.
couldn't go because their trailer had no brakes.
Yeah, so I think stopping is really important. Again, it's that downhill, and I know with Voyager, we can set the cruise control to like 5 miles an hour going down an 8% grade, and it'll maintain that 5 mile an hour grade, which is really nice when you're like in Colorado or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of mountains out there.
Yeah, and also comfort. I mean, when we were test driving those 4, 5, and 650 chassis, I mean, they beat us up.
They did. Not good suspension, and when you're in this for several hours a day on a regular basis,
Yeah.
you know, a truck is meant to haul 1,000,000 miles
Yeah.
and haul it in comfort. And so that's another reason why we chose it. The other thing too was we travel a little differently. We don't necessarily, we hardly ever stop to eat out.
Yeah.
So for us, a midday lunch is important, and these trucks
They're comfortable.
Yeah.
Because you can maintain the temperature. If it's really hot outside, the air is already on, the cab is already cool. If it's cold outside or rainy outside, or if it's just yucky for whatever reason,
Yep.
it's kind of, you get the advantages of the motorhome. You can just get up and go in the back and you have your lunch. You can heat it up in the microwave. We can wash our hands in the sink. It's just nice.
It's really nice, very comfortable. And so that was, once again, for us and our style, that was important.
Yeah. This is going to sound really frou-frou-y, but one of the things that really sold me on the HDT, besides the comfort and the safety factor, was the HDT community, because my biggest fear was being alone on the road with this huge monstrosity, and what happens if something happens?
Yep.
You know, we knew nothing about trucking. We knew nothing. We're not mechanics.
Zero.
We're none of that. What's going to happen? And the one thing that we learned on the first couple of rallies that we went to before we even bought an HDT was the community.
Yes.
You're not alone. If something happens, if your truck sends up a code, you just put it on Facebook, and within seconds, you've got like 50 guys trying to help you out, or girls too.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a great community, very tight-knit,
Yeah.
willing to help out. So
Yeah.
that was a nice safety net for us.
Yeah.
So the next decision for us was old versus new. Everyone was buying used trucks and they were refurbing them. And that's a way to go.
But that just wasn't us.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I
like,
mean, look at this. Is this just the cutest thing or what? I shouldn't say that. I hope whoever's this truck is doesn't watch the channel. But
it's a cool looking truck.
it's a cool looking truck.
Yeah, it really is. But for us, we had always owned new cars. Now, we'd only owned three of them.
In the 27 years before we started full-timing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we weren't into trading cars a lot. So we always gravitated towards new. But no one had done that before in this community. Everyone bought used, had them refurbished, and they sort of rolled down the road.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're a little different.
Yeah.
So I called around, checked around, I was looking at used and everything, and this one salesman said, well, you know, why used? Why not new? And I thought, well, because they're like $250,000. And he said, oh, you're going to be surprised. And this was going back
2015.
Yeah, 9 years ago. So
Actually 2014.
yeah, that's true, when I first started really doing that in earnest. And I said, well, I thought you had to be a company. He said, do you have a checkbook? I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, that's all you need. Now, financing one of these bad boys, that's really not going to happen for a general person. But we were going to pay cash for this. And so I had him quoted. And we got all the options we wanted. And back in 2014, ours, brand new, with just about loaded with everything that we wanted, was $140.
Yeah, and that's with
delivered.
That's with the FET tax and everything.
Everything delivered.
Custom paint, everything.
Yeah. So we were like, wow, okay, because we were looking at new dualies, and these bad boys they were right around 100.
Yeah,
You know?
and not I'm always looking at the numbers, but when I started putting the numbers together, and you get two big trucks, 4, 5, 650s for $100,000 over the course of 35 years, we're gonna have to buy two of them, so that's $200,000 versus $140 for a truck you get a lot more truck, and at the end of hopefully for another 25 years, we're going to end up at about $500,000-600,000 on the truck.
Yeah, and miles. Yeah, not dollars.
No.
So for us, it worked out to be, not only we could get what we wanted, but it also worked out to be a financial gain for us as well, because we were in this for the long haul. No pun intended on that one.
Oh, jeez.
Had to get one of those in here. All right. Let's keep rolling. We need to drive this point home.
So now that we're back at Voyager, we might as well talk about Voyager Story.
Yep. So started the process in 14, ordered it in January of 15. Voyager was born on May 2nd, 2015.
Yeah, and we actually got to go see its birth and smack its little bottom
We
right
did.
there at the factory, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it came off the factory floor. We were fortunate enough to get a factory tour, and we were actually able to drive it off the production line, assembly line. Only a couple of feet, but it was pretty cool. Yeah. And ordered it with everything that we wanted to. And then we picked it up in June, drove it down to Texas to have the bed put on. And then after that, our first big trip was in October of 16.
The HDT National Rally.
That's right.
So-
Yeah, everything was married together. It all fit, and we made it there and back safely. So that was
Yeah.
fantastic.
And then we hit the road January of 2016.
That's
so
right. And
that
we've
was-
been hitting the road ever since.
Yeah, we've got almost 160,000 miles on Voyager, and well, of course, the 20,000 that we have on Curiosity. So in almost 8.5 years, we've got 180,000 miles of RVing.
So
So-
we have no plans to stop anytime soon. So we're just gonna continue on down the road.
Yeah.
But before that, let's
gotta keep
continue
doing-
on down the aisle here and check out some more trucks.
Yeah.
All right, so Voyager's got a 264 wheelbase, tandems obviously, and now they're powered, thank
Yeah.
goodness. The total length is just under 33 feet long. So
Can you believe that? That's the same length
Man.
as Curiosity.
I know, that's just incredible, really. We going down the road with the Smart and everything loaded. We're right at 70,000 pounds rolling down the road. So what we're getting in our current setup's about 6.5 miles per
Yeah,
gallon.
sometimes 7, depending if we're going west to east or east to west.
That's right. If we hit the
Continental
divide,
yeah.
or if we're in Florida.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference.
Huge
let me tell ya.
difference.
So let's keep on walking and seeing what we can find.
Oh, let's keep on trucking and seeing what we can find.
Too bad I don't edit these things.
Thank goodness. Why did we choose a Volvo? There's a lot of brands out there.
Oh, a lot.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this was back in 2014 when all these decisions were being made. So we like the Volvo for a couple reasons. One was they were the only ones at the time that had what we'll call a workstation that could be converted to a dinette.
Yeah.
And that was just a really neat design feature for us.
That was real important to us because we knew we were going to use it for our lunch breaks. And that was important.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
The other thing we liked the softer ride. Some of them were
I call
very
it fluffy.
stiff.
Yeah. It was quiet, and you got all the air ride and everything.
Yeah,
so that
really
was nice.
quiet ride. And then once again now, at the time, Volvo was the leader, and I think still is, in the automatic transmission area. So they have the I-Shift. Ours is a 12-speed with 12 being overdrive.
Yeah.
And cruising along at 63, 64 miles an hour, we're doing about 1,100 RPMs. It's just nice. The shifting is beautiful and smooth, and my left leg doesn't get worn out from in traffic or just having to shift it all the time.
And it makes it easy for me to drive too. Because what's really cool is the cruise control. And again, this whole downhill thing, I hate to keep beating a dead horse on that, but when we peak a hill and we're going down, a steep grade and it's curvy, you can actually set the cruise control for like 10 miles an hour. And even with our rig being 70,000 pounds, we can maintain that 10 mile an hour speed going down the hill.
Yeah.
For a long time, and I'm talking like 6-8% grade.
Yeah, it's really nice. It has those features. The other thing that's really nice is a lot of trucks have what they call a Jake brake, but Volvo's is a 3-step that's right there on the column. So some of these trucks, you got to push a button, push another button, then you got to engage it. Volvo, it's a stick. You just hit whichever level you want. So
Okay.
really nice.
But full disclosure on that, the thing that I don't like about it is the engine brake is right next to the windshield wiper. So if we're driving along, if I'm driving and all of a sudden it starts to rain and I hit the stick for the windshield washer, yeah, that'll wake David up in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, and likewise the other way is when it starts to rain and then she hits or going downhill and she wants to put the Jake brake on, the downhill speed on, and she hits the windshield wipers. It's like,
And
what
then
are
I
you
smear
doing?
the bugs. He's like, what are you doing? So,
Yeah,
Volvo, you need to work on that.
you're good. So after we decided on our truck, Voyager, and after we got Voyager, a lot of times we get a question, what would you guys have done differently? Well,
Especially when we get stuck.
if you've watched any of our videos in the last several months, I think the number one, what would we have done differently, is we would have started out with powered tandems.
Because that was our gut. We liked the look of a power tandem and we wanted to go with power tandem. But at the time, again, this goes back to 12, 13, 14, everyone was like, oh no, you got to single it.
Yep.
Well, you
And
don't know
everyone-
what you don't know.
Exactly. Everyone was singled at that time. And at the time, actually, we didn't even think about spacecraft as a semi-trailer to
Yeah.
live in.
Yeah.
So, it was a good argument, but man, our guts told us to go tandem and to go powered right from the factory.
Yeah.
We should have listened to ourselves.
Live and learn.
Yeah, exactly.
But other than that, I don't think I would do anything differently.
Yeah, I think the only thing maybe is if we started sooner.
Yeah, that would have been nice. But we had to get our daughter out of college and on her feet in life.
Yeah.
So we had to become empty nesters before we could start
Yep.
full-timing.
Oh, and Jordan, if you're watching, we loved every
Yes.
extra year of it.
Yeah. So you should have graduated in 3 years instead of 4 years.
That's right.
No pressure.
All right, one of the final pieces to the full timing puzzle is domicile.
Where do you live when you
Yeah.
don't have any place to live?
Yeah, some people it's kind of easy. They will stay in their home state, but we really didn't have a home state that we were tied to, that we had roots in. So we used to live in, what? Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we were just recording and David was doing some hand gestures and the stupid GoPro shut off.
Shut off.
So that's why I'm holding his hand down.
I gotta stop that. Gene, I thought she was just being amorous.
Come on, let's geo.
So, domicile. We used to live in Texas. Love Texas. Still love Texas. How can you not? Home of Whataburger, right?
Oh, jeez.
Had to get that one in.
But
But
it's centrally located.
yeah, yeah.
And for us, that was important because when we retired, we didn't have any pensions or medical benefits from the company that we worked for. And so with the insurance company, the health insurance company that we had, they said you had to go to your doctor in your domiciled state.
Yeah.
I just did it, I moved. So we thought Texas, if something happened, we'd rather be in Texas than South Dakota, in January.
Yeah, and also Texas allows the registration for a private truck as an HDT.
Yeah. And they're more friendly because Florida is not HDT friendly at all.
No, and at the time it was we had 1,000 trails down there, so that was a good opportunity for us to stay in an area if we needed to, and for not a lot of money, and then also.
This would be a good craft cave for me.
Man,
Now,
that's what she would have
that's
wanted to do
something special.
differently.
That's what I would like to have done differently. I want my own craft room. And they
Man.
can haul the smart car on it too.
That's true, and really,
But-
being from Texas, people expect us to have like bigger stuff.
Yeah.
I think this qualifies.
Yeah, they would fit then.
I think so.
So I'm sorry, what were you talking
That's
about?
okay. I think we're done here. So when you have no home base, when it's traveling behind you, you got to worry about mail. and having an actual address that the federal government recognizes. And Texas also supplies that for us in having a very reputable mail service and one that understands full-timers.
Yeah.
And that is the escapees up in Livingston, Texas. We went with them, and that was another reason why Texas just seemed to sort of fit for us.
Right.
A lot of good mail services out there, Florida and South Dakota. But for us, we get some benefits with escapees because not only mail service, but we get some discounted campgrounds as part of their package, and it's easy to get out of jury duty. And I don't say that in a bad way, because
I love jury duty.
I love jury duty, man. I was on a murder trial one time and I loved it, you know? But with a click of a button, the county there in Livingston understands that if you're an escapee, that you're not going to be there for jury duty. So it's very easy to get excused.
I try calling them because I get summoned every year. He doesn't, probably because of what happened on the murder case. But
maybe.
So I get summoned. I call them. I say, well, can I schedule it, because I know when we're going to be there? And they said, no, you can't do that because we want to serve.
Yeah, I got a notice for a district trial one time, and I couldn't do it because we weren't there. We were like in Alaska at the time.
Yeah.
Man. But anyhow, that's different.
So the next question we get asked a lot is, do we have a CDL? And that's different from state to state to state.
Boy, it really is. Texas is nice in that they do require a Class A endorsement on your license, but it's a non-commercial. You take a test, you take a road test.
Yeah, you do.
And then you get your license if you pass both of them. So it's kind of nice that it's not a full CDL, but we do have to take a little something to show that we do kind of know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
We don't get stuck.
That's right.
Okay, well, we came back to Voyager because we're getting ready to talk about a very sensitive subject that David's probably going to get on a soapbox and start yelling and screaming. And so we thought it'd be better just to come back here and talk about this.
That's right. So the other piece of the puzzle to decide on is how you're going to register. And a lot of people register it as a motorhome. And they meet the criteria. Every state is different in how you do this.
And it's stuff like, do you have air conditioner? Do you have a bed? Do you have a place to cook? Do you have a place to
go to the bathroom?
That sort of stuff.
Separate air conditioning, and such. So I got to tell you though, and a lot of people are doing this. They're registering these big trucks as a motorhome, and they're getting it insured. The insurance company understands, I guess,
because you save money. It's a lot cheaper to register. It's a lot cheaper to insure as a motorhome than as a truck.
Right, but what I mean by them understanding that this is an HDT that hauls stuff, and you also have to, in most cases, get a legal authority, which is usually an officer, to sign off that this is, a motorhome or has all the criteria of a motorhome.
Yeah.
But still, it's not right, in my opinion.
And you've read the laws on this.
Yeah, so one of the things that distinguishes a truck, which this is a truck.
A tractor.
A tractor. One of the things that distinguishes it from a motorhome is that it can bear weight. Motorhomes cannot bear weight other than their own. A truck hauls, so it bears weight other than its own. And a motorhome will tow, that is not bearing weight. A truck does that. I've got a saying, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, well, you know something? It's probably a duck. And that hitch plate on the back of my truck means that I'm hauling stuff, means that I am hooking up to a trailer. It's bearing weight, that pin weight, which in our case is 13,000 pounds, so that's not a little bit of weight. And we are hauling it. It's bearing weight and we're hauling it. Now, there is a new term that has come out now recently that people are starting to kind of catch on to, and that's a toter home. where you've got an actual bigger rig that's an actual camper, and it's got a hitch on the back of it, and they call that a toter home. All right.
So is that my craft room?
Now that other big truck, that was your craft room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but once again, if it's meant to be a toter home, then that is a fully self-contained unit. It's got a kitchen, a bathroom, it's got a bedroom,
Shower.
separate AC units that are controlled independently of your truck's unit, and a shower and such. That is a toter home. That is a camper. That is sitting on top of your truck, you know, so that I get that one. I get that one. But man, not one of these condos. And we've got one. We've got a condo here in ours. We got plumbing. We've got a bathroom of sorts. Yeah, we could do that. But we're not. I know. That's just my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. Maybe 2 cents.
Okay then.
Yes.
Since we're a private truck.
Yep.
And we're not an RV.
Yep.
Can you please explain this right here? That's being kind of what's it called when you're not two-faced?
Hypocritical?
Hypocritical.
Yeah. All right, so that's a great question. We put this on here. This is not for legal reasons. You don't have to have this on there. So what this means is that what we're trying to say is that if we put a private truck on here, then people might still think that we haul. Even if it's a private truck, that could still be construed that we have sort of our own business and that we're hauling for ourselves kind of a thing. Well, the only thing that we haul is our home.
Yeah, we're home haulers. We're not RV haulers.
So, and because we live in that, because it's we have no other stick and brick home and such, so we put private RV, recreational vehicle, so that people would know that we're not a private truck in the sense that we're hauling anything other than our house. So that's why we've got that there. And the not for hires to let people know that we're private.
We're retired.
We're not commercial. Yeah, I don't want to work.
Yeah, this is work enough, retirement.
Yeah, so you don't have to have this, but I will say this, that it answers a lot of questions before they get asked. We've had a couple of times police officers have rolled up next to us on the side. They have stopped in this area. They've looked at this probably, and they have moved on.
Yeah.
We also were coming into California one time, and they didn't know what the heck we were, right? They were sitting there, and they're at the inspection, the ag station. He's looking.
Like 5 guys.
Yeah, and they're looking up and down. They're like, man, you know, I don't know what you are. And we're like, well, we're just RVers. That's all we are. It's a fifth wheel. And he scratched his head, and he's like, huh? Well, his supervisor came up because he was holding up the line, and he says, what's going on? The guy says, well, I don't know what these people are. The supervisor leaned out the window. He looked at this, and he goes, see, that's what they are. He looked at us, he says, move on. And we said, thank you.
Now, where this didn't work is when we tried to cross into Mexico.
Yeah, because this doesn't happen in Mexico.
No.
This is commercial no matter how you slice it in Mexico. So that's another story, and we're not going to be taking this into Mexico.
No.
All right, so another question we get, and probably because we've gotten stuck a few times, is do you guys have roadside assistance, and how do you do that? So there's a lot of options for an HDT out there. You can actually get with a Love's or a TA. There's actually companies out there that handle commercial trucks in terms of towing and such. We go with CoachNet out of Texas. Really good company. We've used them only one time, believe it or not, in the, I guess, 3 or 4 years that we've had them. And because actually we've had really nice people that have actually offered to get us unstuck.
But we needed to change a tire because the slide was broken, and the slide mechanism, we couldn't get to it unless we changed the tire. So David called CoachNet, and we had him come out and do half the service. They were going to change the tire, but we said, no, just leave it off.
That's right.
So,
they said, really? Are you sure? And we're like, no, this one's on us, guys. And they're like, okay. Yeah. So they've so far they've worked great. I mean, we've only, like I said, only used them that once, and they know that we're an HDT. So here's the thing.
Because Sam's Club.
Yeah, because Sam's Club has an issue with it, and there's been different stories about it. But I tell you, we had platinum, premium, double bonus, you know, like pay me extra kind of coverage. And the couple times that we called them, they looked at us and they said, oh, you're a big truck, you're a semi, we don't do semis. So just, you know,
Yeah.
do your due diligence and such. The other one too is FMCA. Now, even though they handle big old Prevost motorhomes, we talked to
Yeah.
FMCA and they said no. If you are an HDT, then that's not happening, guys.
Quack, quack, quack.
Exactly.
So one of the things that we struggled with when we were first doing our research is, with our travel style, we really need to be in a motorhome.
Boy, that's the truth. Makes it so much easier.
So what are the challenges of being in a motorhome versus an HDT? Well, the biggest selling point for anyone, well, for any woman, I hate to stereotype, is I want a motorhome because I can get up and go to the bathroom.
Man, I think we could cut like 2 hours off our travel time each day.
We probably could, but after spending 6 months in our motorhome in Curiosity, I learned a lot about myself, and I'm really grateful we did not get a motorhome because I cannot handle all those little crazy noises that are going on behind us. The dishes rattling.
Oh, man.
Now, if you forget to close, you know, lock the fridge, yeah, you can hurry up and run back there and close it, and yeah, you can make your coffee, but the thing I love about the HDT is I can do all of that stuff too.
That's true.
Can get up and get my soda, you know, I can warm up lunch, I can go to the bathroom.
Yep.
I can do all the stuff a motorhome can do, except I don't have to hear my dishes rattling.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet in there.
And I discovered it freaks me out that when you're in a motorhome and you have a Toad, you can't back.
Yeah.
Even backing up a couple of feet.
Yeah.
And to me, that's like a showstopper.
Yeah, that was a difficult thing with the Class C this last summer in Alaska, was getting used to that. I mean, it's got a great turning radius, but knowing that you can't really back up without unhooking stuff, that was, I just wasn't crazy about that. Now, the other thing about an HDT that you have to be aware of is that there are, and this has never happened to us, there are some campgrounds out there that have actually refused to allow an HDT into their facility. Even though it's pulling an RV, even though the colors have matched, and it's not like it's a trailer that could be mistaken for a regular semi-trailer, they still didn't allow it. And we've heard of
stereotype.
actually, several people, because they say, oh, it's too heavy. You know, of course, you got these
a big
Prevosts.
bus is heavier than us.
Exactly, but that is the possibility of happening out there. Like I said, it's never happened to us. We're always up front with the campgrounds when we stay in them. We call them and let them know what we are, and we'll actually send them a picture sometimes too. So never happened to us, but we know some people that it has happened to, so just kind of be aware of that. All right, so after all of this, is an HDT right for you?
And you know, I think the best thing for us is going to the rallies, because there is such a wealth of information at these rallies. This is the tent, and this is where you get all your information from. Every day we sit around and we've got some new people coming in. They're thinking about getting an HDT, and they're just talking to everybody. You know, what are their experiences? Why do they choose one rig over another?
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody's lifestyle is different. Everybody's travel style is different. And rallies are the best place to get differing opinions.
Yeah, they really are, because you've got a wealth of experience here and knowledge. And a lot of times that is a much better teacher than whatever you read on books or even on YouTube. Sorry, YouTube. But yeah, it's amazing, all the people here, and then you get a chance to look at all the rigs, see what other people have done to outfit their rig according to their lifestyle.
And their needs.
Yeah, the nice thing about these trucks is that they're geared to handle the weight.
Yeah.
So you can load them up.
Oh, just think about how many more trips to the Scrap Mania I can go to. But
So as the rally continues, we're going to take you guys along, let you see some of these modifications and the unique things that people have done
To suit their needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hope you enjoy it. And, you know, if it's in your future, that's great. Hope this has helped. And,
And if you think you do want an HDT, I'm sorry, I just remembered. Where do you get an HDT?
Oh, yeah.
So rallies, again, are a great place to start. And usually there's always someone at a rally that's selling their truck. And then there's several Facebook groups that are out there, and we'll pop them up on the screen.
Yeah, HDTs for RVing, HDTs for sale. Yeah, there's always several that are on there, and they've been outfitted for RVing. So if you think about going down the dark side of RVing, then that's actually some good resources. But we enjoyed having you guys along, and we'll show you some other stuff that as we see it here on the rally. But thanks again, and appreciate you watching.
We're just gonna keep on trucking.
Yeah, we'll keep on trucking. And and you guys better be subscribing.
There's a few of you out there, and he knows who you are.
That's right. Don't make me hunt you down. All right, see ya.